Yo, what up, what up? This ain't Nouan. Nomad Podcast. This is just more refreshing on remembering home. You know, the thumbnail that I picked for this is just a rough sketch of people walking down a stairwell. You know, many of us started, we had on like the Stranger Things, 11, they would have on them all white suits. We had on like these gowns and we were walking down a stairwell, and it seemed like this stairwell just like went forever. We all had white gowns and we were going single file, and we had to just keep going without a question, without any conversation. We didn't say anything to anybody. This is how we entered into the pyramid, the Lucifer pyramid. Back when we was home, and it was all nations. There was white kids, there was black kids. You know what I'm saying? Mexican. It was all types of races. All right. And in the beginning, like, we had to pick, we were picking some type of dualism, and I think it was like the red dragon and the black dragon. That might have been ancient world stuff. Didn't get along with each other or whatever. But we picked a lot of things. I don't want to get too far off task in the beginning. Okay? In the beginning of the game, getting into this spiritual Egypt, which is the Lucifer cube. All right. Now, like I said, I got the two pyramids sitting next to each other in the diagram because the first pyramid is Michael's pyramid. It's a spiritual pyramid. I don't know how it works. Okay. We played our first game in there. It was a game where we were riding on a train, and if you ever seen John Wick 2 or 3, the actress that is in the film Orange is the New Black, she was the game master of the last game, and she wore the same outfit or suit that she wore in John Wick 2 or John Wick 3. Okay? So that was the first game. Then something happened with that pyramid. When it didn't really break down or nothing like that, but we just had to get to a different pyramid if we wanted to continue playing games. It was my turn to pick the next game, and I wanted to see if there was like warfare over words. And at first we thought that was going to be boring, and I picked a game where I didn't want to be the game master, but that we all could play at once and all be main characters. And so we played this game, you know what I'm saying? And we went to the Lucifer Cube. We, had motor movement training. I think that's where we wore the white gowns, and it was like the Stranger Things dynamic when we were in the upside down, so to speak. In the Lucifer Cube. And, we had this blue portal that was in the shape of a headstone. Okay, I call it Philadelphia, and it was these brothers in these 80s like tracksuits that you would see them do like 80s gym workouts in. You know what I'm saying? With like, like Trapper Keeper designs on them and what have you. And they had these big headphones, like they were air controllers, and they had antennas, and they had like these glow sticks or these glowing lights in their hands, where they would like direct traffic, okay, of the different timelines that was going up and down this, electric blue, glowing field of lights in the shape of a headstone. It had different timelines of people with these air controllers or whatever. We arrived to this place where you get to like these cubes, and there's 8 cubes. Okay, that's kind of like they were like Rubik's cubes, but they were all like brown or beige color, right? And there was 8 of them. They were lined up in a row. Okay, and I picked the first cube, and the first cube was the technology cube. All right, that's the one that I got involved in. All right, I was put inside of a diamond. You know what I'm saying? With 2 dragons, and the great alien. I know for a fact she came from my world. Okay, and that's my little sister, Aiko. Or we call her like Kid Wells. Okay, she was in the diamond. She was in the top part. If you ever seen that movie with Martin Lawrence called Blue Streak, it's about how he hit a diamond inside a police station. Well, you would be like on this blue streak, this diamond, and it would pick a path or trajectory of where you were going, like in time and space. Okay. From the entrance screen, okay, in order for the minions to get in there, everybody had to dive in. Okay, everybody had to dive in. My parachute, I forgot to put on a parachute. I just jumped, and I happened to land on the blue side, so I was a boy. All right, the binary construct is fact. If you land on the blue side, you're a boy. If you landed on the pink side, you were a female. All right, and we had on these army suits, you know what I'm saying, air raid suits, and we would jump off of this platform, and there was a square off to the side, all right, that just hanging in the dimension, and that's how we entered in. Okay, many people had parachutes. I was the only one. My parachute, I didn't even put on the damn parachute. I just jumped. I don't know why. Elder was screaming to people, "Go, go, go!" and he was pushing us off as he was saying that. And my little sister, okay, my little sister Cricket, okay, I was holding her. I usually hold Cricket, and she asked if aliens and minions could be friends in the game. And I said, I don't know. And then she jumped off of my shoulder and she went over into like the spaceship part. She was like, okay, I'll see you later, right? So that's how, all of that is how we like entered into like this game, okay? But from where I was from, everybody was androgyne. Now, we didn't actually have, I don't think we had organs. I guess you could say we were more asex, I don't know, or sexless, okay? You could say that we were sexless, okay? But I just put androgyne down there. But this is kind of like how we entered the game. And then so for like, we did motor movement training when we were in like the place where we had the white hospital gowns, you know, and the way we walked down these stairs and how tight these stairs were like angels in gowns. They were all white gowns walking down the stairwell, and I'm thinking to myself, could this reflect the 144,000 that is written of in scripture? And I believe that's where the 144,000 is from, because it was just rows and rows of people that did this thing without asking question, and there was like the stairwell seemed like it went on forever. But we did different tests and things like that. We had on all white suits, just like, you know, the people in the island, but ours was more kind of like a gown, okay? And entering the game, there was a screen, okay, and it was a pyramid. It was a triangle, okay, comprised of triangles, and the triangle at the very top, that's the one that Elder selected, okay? So that's the one Elder selected. The second row on the left hand side, there's a brother that's holding a staff that has a rainbow colored robe on, and he has a staff, which I'm guessing that could be like Yosef, you know, because he got thrown into a hole by his brothers or whatever, because they were jealous over his robe or something to that degree. But anyways, I selected that on the game. Okay, that's what option I selected. It was the second row. It was the one on the left hand side. It was a brother with a rainbow colored robe on. All right. So, like I said, you know, this is how things kind of came together. You know, I don't have it in an exact order yet, but you know, once again, as minions, we jumped into this black space and we landed in this square, and that put us in a binary construct between male and female, depending on what side we landed on, the blue side or the pink side. Okay, and we had parachutes on. All right. We went through motor movement training, and then you select portions on the screen of what you want to be without your ego involved. Okay? This wasn't something like, we're on that side, this world looks completely crazy to us, just like on this side, you looking at this seems completely crazy to you. Okay? But these are the screens that you went through, and you had to select without bias when you wanted to be born. Okay, and where? Okay, where you wanted to be born. Like for instance, I selected the Midwest. Okay, so I was born in Missouri. Okay, there was a screen where you could pick you was born to the 40s and 50s, the 50s to 60s, the 60s to 70s, and the 70s to 80s. But they had all different time periods. I picked the 80s. Okay, the 70s to the 80s. All right. Or no, I picked the 80s to the 90s. You know what I'm saying? It was a screen that looked just like this if you pay attention to it, right? And you could select when you wanted to be born in time, when you wanted to be sent in time. And you select that without any ego. All right? Here's an image I drew of like the void. The void is like this black space, right? Where all the characters are horizontally, like kind of stacked over one another, like in rows, and kind of offset, like the Brady Bunch, but like an offset rows. They were stacked vertically in a black space, and we call that the void. I think that's called the void, and you could wait there. Sometimes I think you might be eligible for work release, but that's on the other side. And like I said, this last image is just like of the Rubik's Cube, and that's, I've selected the first one, which was the technology cube. All right, but there's 8 other cubes in different fields, which I don't remember. Okay, what the other fields were, but if you were in the first one, you're in the technology cube. All right, but I'm just refreshing your memory, okay, about how we entered in the cube. Now the aliens, okay, they entered in on the other side. They got directly into spaceships and they flew out into space. Okay, they didn't enter on the same side as the minions did. So anyhow, I was just putting this out there. Peace and blessings be with you all. All right, I'm out.
We'll be right back.